Joyce Meyer is one of the richest female pastors in America and is well known for her straightforward sermons and easy-to-understand biblical lessons. She has inspired millions through TV, radio, and books like Battlefield of the Mind and Living Beyond Your Feelings. Her impact reaches from the U.S. to far-off areas in Africa as she builds her Christian ministry. However, recently, she has faced challenges such as canceled surgeries, events, and even government investigations, which have raised some concerns. Joyce Meyer, along with her husband Dave, started Joyce Meyer Ministries in 1985 after leaving their previous church. They aim to create a nonprofit ministry called Life in the Word, using TV shows, radio broadcasts, and conferences, which became quite successful. Joyce has always shared her journey of growing her ministry. She had a spiritual awakening at age 9 and felt a strong call from God during a prayer in 1976 while driving to work. This moment helped her understand her purpose. Joyce began her journey as a pastor while she was a member of Our Savior's Lutheran Church in St. Louis, where she led a Bible class at a local cafeteria. She later joined Life Christian Center in Fenton and became the associate pastor. Her popularity as a Bible teacher helped the church grow. Joyce then started a 15-minute radio show on a St. Louis station. In 1985, she stepped down as associate pastor and founded her own ministry, Life in the Word. She hosted her radio show on several stations in Chicago and Kansas City. In 1993, her husband suggested starting a TV ministry called Life in the Word. Her show, Enjoying Everyday Life, still airs today. By 2002, she earned over $10 million from Hachette Book Group for her self-published books. She was named one of the 25 most influential evangelicals in America by Time magazine. Her annual women's conference in St. Louis drew thousands of women and grew in popularity. Joyce Meyer, who is becoming more well-known, started Hand of Hope, which is the mission part of her ministry. This organization offers food, medical care, and other outreach programs. She is recognized in Christian communities, and her teachings have helped millions find healing and support. Joyce has also shared her personal experience with abuse and how God can heal, which has connected with many people. Over the years, she has built a large global ministry. However, there are recent signs that her ministry might be facing some challenges. There are challenges related to operational demands and personal factors. One sign of this is the decrease in live events and public appearances. Joyce Meyer used to have many live conferences that attracted large audiences wanting to hear her teachings. However, these events have reduced and many have been replaced by pre-recorded sessions. This change is because the ministry is working to save resources and deal with difficulties. Joyce Meyer's ministry is facing difficulties, including the end of her television program that used to air on a St. Louis Christian station. The station's operator, Reverend Larry Rice, canceled her show because he thought her lifestyle was too extravagant and that her teachings sometimes strayed from the Bible. Additionally, her ministry is feeling the impact of the grounding of their private jet and a reduction in international activities. Joyce Meyer has faced criticism for using her private jet for personal trips, leading to scandals about her lavish spending. Her ministry used to thrive on traveling to connect with people around the world, but this has decreased lately. Many people think this might be due to money issues. The ministry has shifted its focus to social media, sharing pre-recorded messages and inspirational quotes to keep reaching out to people. Joyce Meyer has been adapting to certain limitations. While she's still active, her changes mean there may be less live interaction and personal connections. People have noticed that her energy during speaking events seems different, and she needs more time to recover between events. These changes could be due to aging, health issues, or the long years she has spent in her work. So if you're curious about her current situation, this is what has been observed. Joyce Meyer Ministries, a well-known group in global Christian ministry, is dealing with financial and operational problems. These issues have become more noticeable due to increased public attention and rising costs. From 2007 to 2011, the ministry faced criticism during a Senate investigation led by Senator Chuck Grassley, who looked into how donations were being used. Reports about lavish spending, like a $43,000 table and a $10 million Gulfstream jet, led many to criticize her for living too extravagantly, especially since her ministry was meant to help others. Even before the Senate investigation, her ministry was under fire for its challenges, particularly concerning her wealth and lifestyle. A 2003 report showed that the organization had paid for expensive items, including a $2 million house for Joyce and more homes for her 4 children. She also bought a silver item. Joyce Meyer bought a gray Mercedes sedan worth $17,000 for her husband. The ministry's headquarters, valued at $2 million, had expensive furnishings and artwork worth $5,700,000. This prompted watchdog groups to call for an IRS investigation. In response, Joyce Meyer Ministries worked to be more transparent about its finances. Meyer lowered her salary to $250,000 a year and changed how she benefited from book sales. She defended how the ministry handles its money and said there was no need for concern about her spending. "I apologize for the difficulties that come with running a large ministry with almost 1,000 employees in 38 countries. Managing such a big operation is challenging and costly, with annual insurance costs hitting $2 million. The ministry's worldwide activities need a lot of money, and it has faced ongoing criticism about its financial practices." The decision to ground the ministry's private jet in recent years may also be part of efforts to save money and address public concerns. The increasing costs of running global operations and changing donation amounts are putting extra stress on Joyce Meyer's ministry. Meyer has always supported her financial practices, highlighting the benefits of prosperity and the value of living without debt. Her views spark a larger discussion in the Christian community about money and how it should be managed. She believes that pastors are often judged more harshly than people in other jobs when it comes to financial success. Despite her defense, Meyer has shown humility about the criticism, admitting that her earlier focus on prosperity teachings needed. This shows her effort to make sure her ministry's financial practices match its spiritual goals, showing a commitment to being responsible and improving. Joyce Meyer Ministries has faced major financial and operational problems, but its ability to respond to scrutiny and rising costs has helped it remain strong globally. The organization's responses to criticism, like being more open and lowering Meyer's pay, have helped with some worries. However, they still need to carefully manage their large operations, public image, and finances. As Meyer's teachings change, the ministry is adapting, but its dedication to its goals is crucial to its lasting impact. Joyce Meyer Ministries also dealt with another challenge when facing In 2011, Christopher Coleman, the head of security for a ministry, was involved in a wrongful death lawsuit. This followed his arrest in 2009 on suspicion of murdering his wife, Cher Coleman, and their 2 sons, who were all found dead in their home from strangulation. The case created a scandal for the ministry. After a long trial in 2011, Christopher was found guilty of 3 counts of first-degree murder and received 3 life sentences. The prosecutor stated that the murders were part of a larger plan. He had a plan to leave his wife for another man he was seeing. He was worried that if people found out about his affair, he could lose his job at Joyce Meyer Ministries. The family of Cher Coleman filed a lawsuit against the ministry, claiming that Joyce's poor counseling led to the deaths of 3 people. According to the lawsuit, Christopher Coleman sent threatening letters to his family anonymously to avoid being suspected. Meyer was suspected of murder, and it was claimed that he should have been suspicious of a letter and warned his wife about it. In 2013, Circuit Judge Richard Aguirre dismissed the case. The murders and new details about Coleman's personal life had a big impact on the ministry. Employees were shocked that someone in a leadership position could act in such a way. This loss of trust caused the organization to reflect on itself and reconsider its hiring practices. Joyce Meyer Ministries is now doing more careful checks on employees. They are using background checks, psychological tests, and character assessments to make sure that employees share the same values as the ministry. The leaders are also focusing on building a culture of honesty and responsibility to regain trust and protect against future problems. This tragedy has led to a change in how the ministry operates. Beyond just better employee screening, the screening focused on building a supportive workplace where employees felt comfortable sharing concerns or reporting issues. This involved improving training for managers and setting up clearer ways to communicate about sensitive topics. The tragedy highlighted the need to keep personal and work lives separate. Leaders understood that this separation was important for both the integrity of the ministry and for protecting everyone involved. Joyce Meyer has shared her personal experiences, including her family's history and her past abuse. She finished high school at Owalan Technical High School and married a part-time car salesman shortly after graduating. Their marriage lasted 5 years, during which her husband often cheated on her and encouraged her to steal payroll checks from her job. They used the stolen money for a vacation in California, but Joyce later said she paid back the money. They eventually got divorced. She often went to local bars before meeting Dave Meyer, an engineering draftsman. They married on January 7th, 9,967, and had 4 children: David, Daniel, Laura Marie, and Sandra Ellen. All 4 children are involved in ministry, which has had both positive and negative effects on her own ministry. Dave Meyer, her husband, is the vice president of Joyce Meyer Ministries and has been in ministry for nearly 30 years. Their youngest son, Daniel, is the CEO of U.S. operations for the ministry. Meyer's other son is the CEO of Hand of Hope, which is part of Joyce Meyer Ministries. Her other children also play important roles in helping the organization grow and achieve its goals. However, having family members involved in the work has created challenges. Their decisions often affect personal relationships, making it difficult to separate family issues from ministry duties. At Shimite, all choices about promotions, responsibilities, and changes in the organization have always included the family. As Joyce Meyer started to reduce her intense public appearances and leadership duties, her son Daniel Meyer took on a bigger role. This change was important for the ministry and meant that they needed to adjust how they lead and relate to each other as a family. Daniel's growing responsibilities showed how tricky it can be for a family-run organization to pass on leadership. He had to carefully manage his new role while also keeping peace within the family. Keeping the ministry's legacy while introducing new ideas made his job more complex. This change challenged the family to adapt while staying true to the ministry's mission and values. Relying on family members created a strong shared vision and trust, but it also brought some weaknesses and challenges. The mix of family and work roles affects how conflicts are resolved, decisions are made, and daily interactions happen. Some people have accused her ministry of favoritism because of her family's involvement. Some members are favored for positions due to their family connections rather than their skills, which has led them to disagree with the ministry's choice to include family members in their work. Additionally, there are concerns about financial issues. Joyce Meyer has faced criticism for spending large amounts of money on furniture. The ministry has also spent over $4 million on homes for Joyce and her 4 children, covering all the utilities, maintenance, landscaping, and renovations. Many critics have called her out for these expenses. When a family makes money from their roles in the ministry, especially if they hold top positions, it raises suspicions. It's concerning that they are in high-ranking roles and making the most money in the ministry. Additionally, there is a lack of transparency in how the ministry operates because the family is in charge. The situation is further complicated by the influence and roles of family members. Joyce Meyer surprised many when she admitted that her views on faith and prosperity changed. She has given speeches around the world and written more than 100 books. At one point, she claimed that tough times were caused by a lack of faith, which led to controversies. Many accused her of judging poor people and blaming them for their struggles. Years later, she posted a video on Instagram that changed her views. She admitted that while she appreciated what she learned about prosperity, her teachings had become unbalanced, and she was thankful for her new understanding of faith. Every time someone had a problem, I thought it was because they lacked faith. If someone got sick, I believed they didn't have enough faith. If a child passed away, I thought it was due to a lack of faith. But that's not true. The Bible does not promise that we will never face difficulties. It surprised everyone when she openly acknowledged her mistake and talked about changing her way of thinking. So, she said, no matter how much faith you have, you can't avoid challenges forever. Jesus said that life can be tough, but we should stay positive because He has conquered the world. Joyce Meyer has changed her teachings and apologized for the prosperity gospel, which is the idea that God wants Christians to be rich and healthy, and that faith can bring wealth. And many televangelists promoted this belief, saying that faith and positive thinking can help people overcome financial struggles and sickness. Joyce Meyer also shared these ideas. This has faced criticism for being misleading and encouraging people to give large sums of money in hopes of receiving blessings and good health. Many argue that its message goes against the true teachings of Jesus. Recently, Joyce Meyer has also struggled with serious health issues, which has worried many of her followers. She posted on social media that she is starting to recover after being in a wheelchair for a while. In her video, she mentioned that she has had time to rest after a fall. I had a broken ankle and back surgery that led to a blood clot and issues with my other leg. I've been using a wheelchair for the past month. However, I received great news today. I went to the orthopedic doctor and they took me off the wheelchair completely. I need to wear a walking boot for 3 weeks, but I can put full weight on my leg, which is fantastic. The doctor said I'll be walking on my own soon. An 85-year-old preacher has drawn a lot of public attention because of her health issues. She had surgery and went through various complications, which led to emotional challenges for her. It has been hard for her to meet the public's expectations, even though she has taught many people how to handle feelings like depression and anxiety. She often shares messages about healing from emotional pain and keeping faith in God's love. Recently, there has been ongoing talk about her health, especially after viewers saw her hands shaking during a presentation in 2019. One of her recent appearances led to discussions online about her health. Although Joyce Meyer hasn't directly responded to these concerns, they have sparked conversations about whether she can handle the tough demands of her ministry role. Social media has played a big role in spreading these comments and clips quickly, leading to both concern and criticism. Joyce Meyer often faces media attention for various reasons, especially since her every statement, sermon, or appearance is scrutinized on social media. She receives a lot of feedback from the public, and people often criticize her teachings. However, this has helped her connect with millions of followers and share her message globally. Her focus on prosperity theology is controversial. Many followers find hope and inspiration in the idea that faith can bring financial and personal rewards. But others see this view as too simple and materialistic, claiming prosperity teachings can take advantage of people's beliefs. Some vulnerable people are encouraged to donate to the ministry with the hope of getting financial rewards in return. Meyer has admitted that at one time her views on prosperity and faith were not well balanced. But this confession hasn't stopped critics. Another issue is that she often shares personal stories during her sermons. While some listeners like her openness and find it relatable, others think that these stories take away from the deeper religious teachings. Meyer's ministry faces challenges regarding her spending and lifestyle. Critics have pointed out expensive items like a $10 million private jet, lavish homes, and costly furniture, claiming she is wasting ministry funds. While Meyer defends her spending as a sign of God's blessings, many believe it harms her credibility as a religious leader. These issues were examined during a Senate investigation. The ministry's finances have raised concerns about financial transparency, even though the issues were eventually resolved. Joyce Meyer, a well-known leader in a global ministry, faces challenges in managing her public image in a time when everything is closely examined. While her teachings have inspired many, she faces ongoing criticism about her views on health and her spending habits. This creates a challenge for her ministry as she tries to be both genuine and responsible. What do you think will happen in the future? Please share your thoughts on Joyce Meyer's work in the comments. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.